The Princess Heartline Third Batch official directory is a dense collection of raw text, page after page of names and affiliations forming a massive data set. Its table of contents establishes a global scale, listing 258 sovereign countries and territories alongside United Nations specialized agencies. However, these macro-political entities are grouped alongside highly specific pop culture clusters and thousands of Gen Z influencers. The directory requires these two distinct spheres, global governance and celebrity rosters, to exist within the same classification system. This creates a flattened ontological hierarchy. Within this document, a sovereign nation and a digital influencer are treated as equal data nodes requiring structural organization. Section 1 of the directory addresses the primary data pool, exactly 8,000 officially recognized members and candidates. Without an underlying schema, this list is an unorganized network graph of thousands of floating interconnected nodes. The system must manage a specific volume of exactly 8,000 entities. The core architectural problem is how to organize those 8,000 nodes into memorable, distinct subblocks without resorting to chaotic or arbitrary naming. Manual categorization at this scale is prone to error, leading to taxonomic drift and eventually causing the system to break down. The creator addressed this using a rigid combinatorial Cartesian matrix, shuffling the 8,000 nodes into 1,000 mathematically generated groups. At this scale, taxonomy cannot be written, it must be engineered through mathematical logic. The dataset is built upon a foundation of Gen Z rosters, categorized as featured, main, official, extended, legacy, and final arrays. These specific rosters function as highly curated seed arrays, with each list strictly limited to 24 or 25 individuals. These curated arrays establish a localized pop culture identity for the top-level nodes in the network. The data points consist of recognizable figures, serving as anchor points within the broader system. Because they represent identifiable figures, these seeds allow for quick visual verification of the dataset's primary layer. While these hundreds are curated, the remaining thousands are processed through a different instruction, randomly shuffled into Castlemate's teams. Curated seeds establish the cultural identity of a dataset before randomized algorithmic distribution takes over the bulk of the data. The bulk architecture for the 8,000 members is the Castlemate system. This section is governed by an explicit structural rule. 1,000 groups multiplied by 8 members per group equals 8,000 nodes. This formula requires the pool of 8,000 to be subdivided into 1,000 perfectly uniform packets. To house these packets, the system must generate 1,000 unique, non-repeating group names. Attempting to name 1,000 groups manually would create a bottleneck and likely result in schema errors. A combinatorial matrix provides an elegant solution to this naming requirement. By enforcing rigid mathematical constraints, the system is freed from the creative limitations of manual data entry. The y-axis of this matrix consists of 8 architectural suffixes: keep, gate, hall, court, guard, watch, shield, and heart. The x-axis is composed of thematic prefixes like castle, tower, and celestial, scrolling across to form a grid. Crossing 125 prefixes with the 8 suffixes generates 1,000 distinct permutations. For example, the intersection of the prefix emerald and the suffix gate outputs the group label Emerald Gate. Inside Emerald Gate, we find exactly 8 individual nodes, adhering to the 8-member rule. The intersection of Phoenix and Shield outputs Phoenix Shield, which contains its own set of 8 data points. This system required the creator to define roughly 133 variables to generate 1,000 perfect, unique identifiers. Cartesian matrices produce internally consistent identity markers using a limited set of raw variables. Beyond naming, we must verify the structural integrity of these groups. This crystalline pattern visualizes how these perfectly sized groups fit together to build the overarching structure. Each triangle represents an 8-member Castlemate group, interlocking with the others in a flawless tessellation. Scanning the directory confirms this structural integrity. There are no groups with 7 members and none with 9. The structural precision indicates the document is an algorithmically engineered database schema. Pulling back reveals the entire completed taxonomy of 8,000 nodes as an assembled logical database. Section 7 of the document's table of contents highlights digital identity and verification. digital identities cannot be verified, nor security protocols executed, on a chaotic or unformatted dataset. The Cartesian matrix provides the parity and uniformity necessary for a security protocol to function across all 8,000 nodes. In global architectures, arbitrary data is unverified data. Rigid matrices are used to ensure systemic integrity. The directory moves from curated Gen Z seeds through a 133-variable Cartesian matrix to arrive at 1,000 unified groups. This schema mirrors challenges found in broader digital sociology and complex database design. While scaling usually leads to a loss of identity, the prefix-suffix model preserves it within the larger structure. Combinatorial taxonomies provide a mechanism to achieve massive architectural scale while maintaining localized